program. Welcome back to the Community Campfire. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, John.
And we're sitting in studio right now with Alicia Stockman,
Woohoo.
a local artist that you might have heard here on KPCW. So welcome, Alicia.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Good to be back in the studios at KPCW, always.
Always. It's always good to see you and always good to be able to have a local artist in talking about themselves a little bit more than just their music.
Yeah, it's so fantastic to have you in particular here because you truly grew up in our broadcast area. You are born and raised, or mostly raised, right?
Born and raised,
the Wasatch
Born
Back.
in Heber, grew up in Midway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And where do you live now?
I live in Heber, so I made it real far. Yeah. But yeah, my parents moved out here in the 70s to be ski bums, and my sister followed suit, so we stuck around.
Well, yeah, you probably were with them when they were here, right? Being born here, or no?
Sorry?
Were you born here?
I was born here, yes.
Oh, okay.
My parents moved here from Buffalo, New York.
She was with her parents when she was born.
Yes,
I'm not a scientist, but that's how that works.
Wow.
We were
And you heard it here
together.
first on the Community Campfire. That happens? So you grew up in Heber. Why Heber?
My dad saw some article in a ski magazine, about this new resort called Snowbird.
Uh-huh.
And so he strong-armed my mom into moving out west to check it out. And then they went from Salt Lake to Park City and then eventually to Heber.
That's
So
awesome.
Yeah.
I love the Hebes. So basically, I did some research and I found out that your father was actually a volunteer DJ here at the station when KPCW was broadcasting out of the Marsec building.
Yes, he was. When I was in elementary school, he was a radio DJ.
Did you ever get to come into the studio?
I did not. I just used to listen to it after school, and then when he'd get home from working, I would give him a grade of how good of a job he did that day.
That's awesome.
I wasn't always kind. I was a
So
little judgy.
maybe we can insert KPCW into your musical history of like you always dreamed of being on the radio, and then Dad was there and KPCW was there, and now you're on the radio.
Yeah, honestly, it was a missed opportunity. I could have started so much earlier than I did.
We could have had her live as a 5-year-old
As
here.
a
older,
child
yeah.
prodigy.
That would be awesome.
I wish, but...
So I'm curious, Alicia, growing up, you know, obviously your dad was a DJ here, so he must have loved music. Did you grow up around musicians? Were your family members musicians themselves, or how did you get into playing music?
Yeah, so I wouldn't call us a musical family. I would say we were more music enthusiasts. So we always had music playing in the house. We were early adopters of the CD player, and we always had music going. And we were in like the Columbia house. What is it, Columbia?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The
The
one
penny.
penny.
Yeah.
And you have to like cut them out and lick them and put them on the
That was
piece
my
of
job.
paper.
I got to stick them all.
For those listeners out there that don't
For the
remember
youths.
this, it is a disc program when the CDs first came
Yeah.
out, and you could right away to get, you know, they had a catalog of songs, and you could be the lucky recipient of like 13 CDs for a penny.
Oh, yeah.
But
That
then
was
you were
very
on a
cool.
mailing list that they would then charge you every month.
I think they're
until
still charging me.
Anyway, back to Alicia. Go.
I think my first CD was a Celine Dion CD from
yeah.
the record club. Yeah. Very cool. Very timely.
I mean, she crushed it this
Yeah,
summer.
no shade. It was
Yeah.
great.
No shit. So with the influence of love and the Love Day itself, do you have and Celine Dion, right?
Power of love, baby.
Power of love. Do you have a favorite love song?
Ooh, I do. I'm a big Indigo Girls fan, so Language or The Kiss hits me right in the feels. That's probably one of my favorites. It's probably not as, accessible to all listeners, but I really like that song.
It's a deeper cut, but I like that.
Deep cuts.
Would you say that Indigo Girls are sort of like a influence on on your music, and do you have other folks that you really look to as sort of like your muses?
Yeah, absolutely. When I first picked up guitar, I was a big fan of the Indigo Girls, but their guitar work was too hard for me to play.
Ooh.
And so I listened to a lot of Jewel, and so I really enjoyed her songwriting. And now as a more mature songwriter, I still feel like her songwriting it really holds up. She's a wonderful songwriter, but her guitar work was really easy because Jewel was not a great guitar player at the beginning of her career, so it was easy to learn her songs.
You were learning with her.
Confidence booster.
Yeah,
right
I was like,
there.
oh, this is 3 chords. I can do this.
If Jewel can do it, I can do it.
But yeah, she was challenging to sing. So eventually, like between that, like Indigo Girls, Patty Griffin, Grace Potter, all these like powerhouse females. These are the people who taught me how to play guitar, basically.
And you've been a musician full time as your main gig for how long?
2019, somewhere around there, I quit my desk job to do music full time.
So I want to hear a little bit about like the lead up to the artist. You always hear these stories about artists and how they hated working at a fry joint or something like that, you know. And do you have one of those jobs that you had to do where it was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to go out and do what I love and be a musician?
Well, I did really like the job that I had before I quit to play music, but there were some drawbacks. One of which was I was doing marketing for a vacation rental company, which actually I don't think is around anymore, so it's probably okay.
Okay.
But I was based in a cubicle in a basement with no windows, and the day that I had already been thinking like my music was starting to like take up a lot of time, and the tipping point of like I was doing both jobs just okay, but neither of them as well as I wanted to. And so the CEO of the company came in while on ski vacation, and I was the marketing person, and my job was just to make the numbers. I had one job, make the numbers, help the reservations team make the numbers. And so she came in and stopped by my desk while she was on vacation to be like, hey, do you think you can help us make numbers this month? And I was like, yeah, that's literally all I do every day that I come in here 40 hours a week. I stare at this wall and I try to make numbers. And I left the job that day and I was like, I don't think I want to work there anymore. I think I'm ready. I think it's time to go do my own thing.
And did the universe open up and you got like gigs just rolling in the next day?
I mean, it was 2019, so for a while. And then they stopped rolling in when COVID hit. But...
Yeah.
You know, I adapted, I think, pretty well.
To follow up, the last thing is, did you have a red stapler when working in that?
I did take the plants at my desk with me. So
And some pens, I hope.
And some pens.
Yeah.
And did you I was told there'd be cake and there was no cake.
I am curious because today is Valentine's Day. As a songwriter, do you feel like which of the following is the biggest inspiration? Falling in love, being in love, or breaking up?
Definitely breaking up. Low-hanging fruit. I have a lot of breakup songs, and when I introduce them at shows, I'll often call it the low-hanging fruit of songwriting, and they write themselves, and they're very therapeutic. So when you're in love, it's like, oh, I'm just going to write about how it's great today. Like, not as compelling.
Everything's
as like
nice.
the gut-wrenching, like, oh, that person broke me. Or maybe you broke their heart. Both are fun topics to write about.
Well, we've been talking with Alicia Stockman. She's going to play some music for us live in studio here. And do you want to just give our listeners a little, where do they find your CDs? You just released a new CD.
I did just release a new record. It's a 5-song EP, and it's called Live from the Doghouse, and we recorded it live in a studio in Nashville, Tennessee. And what was cool about it was 5 musicians, and we just did it live, and we filmed it. And so, like, whatever happens, happens. And so there's I won't say it. There's like moments of like, it's not perfect, but it's
Just like this.
It's just like this.
Just like John and
What are
me.
you talking about?
But it was really fun to do. And then, so I've been releasing singles from that, and you can get the full EP from me directly at aliciastockman.com.
Awesome.
That's
And
where
they'll
all
find
the
out more
things
about
Great,
it.
and we're going to get all those songs.
Yeah, they're already in
into
the
our-
system, so
Great.
we're good to go.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear, what are you going to play for us now?
I think I'll probably play the first single, Dust to Settle, and then we'll see what happens from there.
I love it. Thank you so much for being in studio.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank you
for
so
listening.
much.
And Alicia Stockman.
Yeah,
Take it
thanks for
away.
dropping by. Happy Valentine's
Happy
Day.
Valentine's Day to the lovers and the breaker-uppers.
And the breaker uppers.
Is that a word? Breaker upper?
It is now.